Top of the morning to you. How you doing, Tana?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing great because I get to sit beside you after a whole year.
Listen, it's been an absolute while, but happy to have you back, Saeed.
I am happy to be back. You know, it feels, but I don't know the time go though.
Yeah.
The time fly. I mean, when I was there, it never feel like it a fly still. I was enjoying it. But I come home and I said, wait, why am I come back home already?
Yeah, it's done already?
Yeah, done. Yeah. So a lot of people been asking me and them say, oh, you just come back saying you just Latin and you not even tell you what go on or anything. I'm say, well, you know, when they come back, it was election. So we have to deal with the election. We could have deal with nothing else right then and there because, you know, Nationwide do it already. You know, current affairs, that's just top of the line. So I came back right in the midst of election, and George said to me, Saeed, you know, you want peace? I'm saying, all right, George, me forward. So it was just elections that were on my mind, you know. I didn't forget to tell you about my experience. I didn't forget to tell you that I come back. I figured that you'd see me that I come back, but, you know, that to deal with the election.
Yeah.
So what's on my mind this morning, Tana?
Yes.
It's that, you know, on the 30th of August, I remember I was sitting in your chair, and George was to my left for what's on my mind that time. You're funny enough, I hosted the rest of the show with you, I think. But I said when I was preparing to leave Jamaica for London, I said it was not goodbye, it is not the end, it is a see you later. And I ended by saying I shall return. And true to form, I have returned. So I've held my promise. I've done my commitment to you. And at the time, those words were more than just, you know, a farewell. It was really a promise to you. I told the listeners and the viewers, I told my country that, you know, I'm going to do better. I'm going to further my education, but I would return. And so this morning I am sitting here as a testament to that promise that has guided me, because Tana, believe you not, every time, and I was probably one of the few people, but every time, you know, people in London would be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna look for a job here, whatever. What are you gonna do? And my answer would always be, I'm going home. And they're like, you want to go home? Yes. But why not stay? No. I have my career here, I have my job here, I have my clients here, my family here, and I have my country to come back to. So I always held on to that. But you know, Tana, when I got to London, I remember, you know, beautiful place. And I can hands down say London is my favorite city in all the world. I think I've traveled to a good amount of places, but nothing beats London for me. Absolutely love it, and I think I'll always go back and visit. But I always told people, no, I couldn't live there. The quality of life, I mean, Jamaica has its problems, but I'll take that any day. But I remember, Tana, my first day in class, and I mean, you're in a classroom full of people, and I was probably one of 3 black people. One of 3. And I remember it because I remember it was another girl from Africa. You had other people from Pakistan and India, China, but from Jamaica it was just one in that class. And I was like, wow. And then they got up and they started to talk about, you know, how they got here and, you know, what made them come. And a lot of them, it was, oh, I just decided to do a master's. So, yeah, I just applied and came. And only very few of us, funny enough, one of the other black persons in the class, we were scholarship students. So we had to tell our story of, you know, applying for scholarships, you know, writing the essays, my vision for Jamaica and how I play my part in that vision. And then and there I recognized, Tana, that I was in a space, I was in a classroom, I was in a society that I had to work probably twice as hard to get to compared to others. And at that moment it reminded me that you know, I come from a place, spent most of my childhood in between Linstead and Corville Gardens, where sometimes I didn't have running water. Sometimes I remember like yesterday, and it's a very fond memory of mine. I studied under a kerosene lamp a lot of the times when light was gone, because those were just the struggles. And I recall that for me to have gone through that, but still went to university. And thankfully, I was so involved in school that I was able to get scholarships. And through scholarships, I was able to go on to law school and become a lawyer. And that paved the pathway and gave me the opportunity to apply, to say I'm going to go even further and do a master's. And when I sat in the classroom, Tana, it really dawned on me that to get to that space, to be in the same classroom with persons who are privileged is in itself a privilege. But more than that, it's really a testament to how people from our society have to work twice as hard, be twice as good, and push themselves in order to get there. But certainly, I have to pause here to thank my mentors, people like Cliff Hughes, who gave me the encouragement, who when I needed a recommendation, he wrote that recommendation without hesitation, who when I had my doubts about it, said, no, the worst you can hear is no, go for it. And how I poured myself into that process. And so at the end of the day, I thought long and hard about it. And for me, my Shevening journey was a vindication of my journey here in Jamaica. It was a story of how you can come from wherever, but still study with people from all over the world in London. And you might be wondering, why am I giving you all of this backdrop and saying all of this? Because I want people to understand. I want our young people to understand that you can do it too. I said when I got the scholarship and I was leaving that I wasn't doing this scholarship, I wasn't doing this program just for me. I'm doing it for my country, I'm doing it for my community, I'm doing it for my family, I'm doing it from where I'm coming from. And so this boy, as Clifford said, Pissatail boy, went to London, and I know I had one job. Enjoy the process, but do very well. And of course, even one of the semesters in Atana, straight distinction, you know. I never get straight distinction in my life yet. With the law school, with the faculty of law here, I never yet get straight distinction. Went to London, straight distinction. In class, participating, professors calling you by name. I mean, funny enough, I was even dubbed Kingston. Because when everybody would ask me where I'm from, I would say Kingston, and then a professor, he was struggling to pronounce my name. And he was like, where you from? And I said, Kingston, Jamaica. Okay, you're Kingston. And from then, everybody started calling me Kingston. And just like that, all of a sudden, everybody knows me as the guy from Jamaica named Kingston. So they didn't even know me as Said. But it reminded me that I went to a whole new world. Longest I've ever been away from home. Went into the academic rigor of Queen Mary University. It expanded my thinking. It showed me different perspectives. I interacted with different people. I've networked with different people. But for this guy to be able to go to London, have tea and wine with judges of the Privy Council. And mind you, I did say that, you know, my position, I still think we should leave. I said that. But to be able to have a seat at the table with those sort of people and to get that exposure and to get that experience, I felt like I was doing it on behalf of my community. And so for me, it wasn't just about grades. It was about proving that a black boy from Jamaica can do just as well in London like anybody else. And I dare make bold to say even better. And so, beyond the classroom, London itself was a teacher. I enjoyed the culture, the history, the diversity. Of course, George will be pleased to know I went to Old Trafford twice, notwithstanding that every time I visited Old Trafford we lost. But I watched a Manchester United match in live and living colour, Turner, not on the TV. But outside of that, the contrast of living in a global city humbled me. And it showed me that the highest heights of dreams and vision is really attainable. If you can think it, you really can conceive it. And so, you know, Turner, I slept in parks. I picked up a hobby where I would just read a book and I'd fall asleep in the park. Not worried about anything, I just fall asleep. And I explored the UK. And again, to be able to do that, I kept going back to my identity. It was just so breathtaking, so phenomenal. And so at this point, I've built a network. I have friends from Africa, Asia, Latin America, Europe, all over. But outside of that, for me, I want to take this moment to encourage people who are listening. You have the opportunity. In fact, the scholarship application is now open. Take it from me. You should go for it. Because I was planning to go for a master's and, you know, probably meet a people or a person or two. But the holistic experience that I gained and the perspective that I've received coming from where I am coming from, it's a testament. And so my time in London has come to an end, and the words I had spoken when I left Jamaica echoed back to me. This is not the end. I must return. And so I now return not only with a degree, but with experiences that have broadened my vision, a network that spans the globe, and a renewed determination for my clients, for my country, for the Caribbean. And I want to use this strength and pass it on to someone else. And so, while I am returning stronger, I'm encouraging someone to strengthen themselves. If you have doubts, if you think that your background disqualifies you, or if you're wondering if an opportunity like Chevening is really for people like you, hear me clearly. It is absolutely just for you. If someone like me, from humble beginnings in Jamaica, can make it to London, do well, sit in classrooms as one of the few black students and still do well, earn distinctions and, you know, sit with judges and come back home stronger, then so can you. And I make bold to say that Chevening has changed my life. And if you dare to step forward, it can change yours too. So when the opportunity comes, as it has now, don't hesitate. Apply. Believe in your potential. Step out in faith, because the world is waiting for your light to shine.